So hello, another play and explain video here at 2NL on Pokerstars, the Zoom variant of course, and we're struggling. I just fired this one up about a minute before I started the stream, and I had a very interesting hand where I already lost an all-in. Thankfully the guy wasn't didn't have a full stack, but look at this one here. So I have the nut flush and he has a boat. Obviously, he made it quite big on the river, but still, I mean, he had 15 behind. So let's see if we can just replay this one at least on the river. So here he makes it 15 with 10 behind. Obviously, I'm going to shove over that because he could have a 6, he could have a weaker flush, and I will not just call there, but this was a classic cooler with a nut flush versus a boat. So this was the very first hand that I played. So let's see if it gets any better today. I really do hope so. We're trying, and here we have ace 10. Unfortunately, we're out of position, which is not great against two players. I do not like that, so I'll definitely start with a check here on the right table, definitely starting with a bet with top pair on the paired board. And the ace, I wish the ace had come on the left table. Here on the right table, now I mean he could still have a lot of ace x. I am going to bet small on this turn. On the left I check, and now he makes it very big. So when he makes it that big, he is very polarized. This is, well, it is never a 9, obviously. It shouldn't be an ace either. So this is a flush or better, and my second pair is just not good enough against that. Sometimes it might happen that we get bluffed there when we bet small, although this is the GTO play to bet small there. But I think that a lot of not a lot of players, but there will be some players who will just think, oh, he's really weak there, he's betting small, so let's raise him. But that would mean that they would have to turn something into a bluff. And speaking of turning something into a bluff, we don't need to do that because we have the nuts on the left table, but also we get a snap fold. Here I am going to start with a check actually. So the king high boards are the only ones that we can bet out of position quite easily, but the 8 and the 9 are precisely the type of cards that I don't like there, because I just think we're getting too many calls. But then, I mean, I don't even have a backdoor here, so obviously with my 5 high, this is an easy fold once he bets just over half pot. Okay, Jack 10 suited again, this time on the button. There is a raise. We're going to 3-bet isolate with this hand. And we get it through, which is very nice. Oh, and I forgot to put on my poker tracker. Oh, now I closed the wrong window here. And we have ace king offsuit. That's quite nice. Ace 6 offsuit here is a fold, and unfortunately everyone folded to our ace king offsuit. This is just how it goes. Regular viewers of this channel know that for quite a while now, most of my premiums that I opened, they just got through without anyone calling, and now they're even giving me a walk when I have ace 8 suited. I won't complain about that though. I am happy to take a walk whenever I can. Ace 7 offsuit. This is a raise on the button. In the big blind there is a player who doesn't have a full stack, but he just folds. Okay, pocket aces. This is one. Let's see if everyone is going to fold once again. Yep, absolutely, and to my ace king as well. I would not expect it any other way. I mean, obviously, I know this is just variance. Let's see if we can try again. But it is quite frustrating if you just never seem to get any action when you have big hands. Here, Jack 10 off against a 3.5x, I will just fold. Had it been smaller, I would have called. We're going to start with a check against what's likely to be a recreational player. Now, not a great board, but I'm still going to... No, I'm not going to overbet, but I'm going to bet it this one big. And here on this board, we do need some protection, but I will check. And I think we can go for a pretty big bet again. Here against this guy, I am just going to check call. The flush comes in, which is not great, and unfortunately we got the fold there with the ace. Gonna raise queen 9 suited. He now bets really small again, definitely not folding to that. And the jack, I will check again. Oh, this is a pretty good hand, but we are not exactly in great position here. I will definitely call this one big blind and expect to lose to win quite often. Okay, 7 big blind is a lot, but we do have top pair and we do have a flush draw. So I wonder whether we should actually even do something else than just call in this spot. But I am just going to call. The 10 brings in the second flush draw, and he now jams. I mean, I don't think this is a bluff. This does look like a pretty good hand, but obviously we never know. But 75 is like 3x there. I just have to just fold this one, even though it sucks. But for 3x the pot, I will definitely fold. Okay, so here we are going to go for a probe bet, a small one, because we don't have top pair anymore. I would actually have considered check raising with king 9 or 9-6 deuce there if he had bet the flop, which he didn't do. So now I am going to bet small, or I have bet small. And he's somehow tanking. Here on the left table, there my 10 high, I'm just going to start barreling. Now we actually turn top pair. Time to start putting more money in there. And the river is actually pretty awful, because if he has a 9, then obviously we're not in great shape, and I think I just have to check now. And he had the flush. Okay. Here it's too big of a raise there, too big of a 3-bet. Had he made it 7.5 or so, I would have considered calling, but not when he makes it so big. Right, so here there's quite a few things going on. I want to label this guy as a non-crusher for cold calling there. We're getting 3-bet fairly small. I am definitely going to 4-bet this one. And here we're getting quite a few callers, at least 2, and we're getting a raise. This guy has been pretty tight so far. It could of course be some shenanigans there, but I am still going to fold my ace 10. Here I can raise 10-8, and I just wanted to see how this hand is developing. That's why I'm still watching it. And I folded, it's quite boring. Right, so here he had king jack suited on the turn. He called my half pot bet there. And then on the river he got his flush. I mean, I could have turned my top pair into a bluff, but I didn't think it was necessary, and I'm not even sure the bluff would have gone through once he rivers the flush, even though the board is double paired. So I think it's okay. I just got a bit unlucky there. Pocket queens. Another one to just get through. Excellent. So pocket sixes, this is definitely one we want to isolate this player with. We have position, we make it 5 big blinds, and this is not a great board, but I'm still going to c-bet this one because I can get hands to fold. Well, this is an interesting turn, and I am going to go for a 2/3 pot bet now, even though the board is dangerous, but we do get it through. So yeah, I started out there with a small bet because I think I can get quite a few hands to fold, possibly even 7s, 8s, 9s. I can get value from a naked club, so I think it's kind of a combo um, bet there. So happy with that, and we got called. And then unfortunately on the river on the turn he folded. Here I'm going to start with a check. On this board I would go with a pretty big raise, pretty big c-bet if I were to c-bet. Now we actually turn the nuts, and now we can put a lot of money in there. We'll start with a 3/4 bet. Here there is a raise. We have a pretty good hand, and this is the exception where I will call because I would like to get this guy involved here as well, which is what happened. But unfortunately we whiff this flop, and here on the right table we did not get any action with the nuts either. And now I just can't do much here. I have to fold, and the non-crusher folds as well. So a bit unlucky with a flop. 10-9 off, definitely folding to a 3x raise. Ace deuce off. Hopefully none of you would raise this one in the cutoff. Pocket sixes on the button will be a hand that we will play either way. And pocket sevens, this is a good one to complete here against a raise and a call. And we flop bottom set. That's pretty good. So let's see what develops here. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't call. This guy is a bit, could be a bit on the aggro side. I am going to check raise this one though, because a king or aces or even queens would call, but unfortunately we just get it through. Yeah, it's annoying. We have actually made quite a few good hands so far and just didn't get any action whatsoever. The only time I got action was when I made my nut flush and villain had a boat in that hand that I mentioned at the beginning. Right, so here on the left, this is a fold against a big bet from a short stack with king 7 suited. On the right table, we have absolutely nothing going for ourselves. And this guy donks pretty big. Had he donked smaller, I would have considered continuing, but against that big donk, I will just fold. On the left, we have second pair. I would start with a check anyway in a multi-way pot, but definitely going to check here. Good sign that everyone checked. No need to bet once again, just hoping to see a cheap showdown. And now that everyone's checked voluntarily twice, I am going to bet this one fairly small. And here on the right, queen 10 suited, you could say, well, that's an easy 3-bet in the small blind, but it's not, because the other guy had opened to 3x and he was only 60 big blinds deep, so then I don't want to reopen. Here king queen off would be a 3-bet. He makes a 3.5x, so I just fold. This is one where you can fold, you can 3-bet. Probably isn't much in it, but once he makes a 3.5x, I think I just prefer a fold there. This will be better than raising. Also, he seemed to be quite a loose player. So here we are going to start with a range bet on queen, queen 5. We get called, and the king shouldn't help him, but I am going to continue barreling this one, and we do get the fold. Okay, so now we have hands to open on both tables, and we get a fold on the right one and not a fold on the left one, so we have then almost nut no pair, going to check behind. This is a quite an aggressive player. I'm just going to call, and let's see what he does now. He checks, which I think isn't the best thing. I think now I am going to actually turn this one into a bluff. I am going to bet 10 big blinds because, okay, he had an ace. Yeah, with the ace there, I didn't expect him to fold that. Actually, maybe there was a bit spewy of me to even go for the bet there. Didn't really think it through. The thing was, I thought because he checked he would have something, but then I forgot that he actually bet quite big on the turn, which suggests that he had an ace or a bluff. And against a bluff, I mean, unless he has like pocket fours or so, we win against that hand. So I don't think it was terrible what I did there, but in hindsight, maybe not the best idea to try to bluff in that spot. So yeah, that did not go well. It's not going well in general, like this entire challenge so far. Here ace-10 off against an under-the-gun raise is a fold. Yeah, so I was hoping that we would be doing a bit better, but I really got quite unlucky, and you can see today as well, we are just not getting paid. We've had so many good hands, and we just didn't get paid at all, and we had one cooler where we lost, and one bluff that didn't work out. So unfortunately, there's not that much I can do. Just continue grinding and hoping that one day we will get paid when we actually make a hand. Okay, this guy gets the non-crusher tag. Do I want to... I mean, this is quite loose what I'm doing now. King 6 suited, and normally I always say, don't do that. But we flop top pair. I'm going to check though. Out of position. So now I am still going to check. I don't want to put a lot of money in with top pair, no kicker. And this guy called very quickly. I don't think he has a king. He might have a king, but I don't think so. Definitely happy to call. And this river is absolutely horrible, because now obviously we lose to an ace or a 9. And when he overbets there, it's very unfortunate. I have to let go in this case. 9-6-6, board that we can c-bet, we can check. I'll just check it this time. Okay, here's another limper. I would like to raise this guy, and here we're going to check again with our ace-king. Now unfortunately we chop with any other ace, and here it's a bit on the tight side. I am going to call this one. Unfortunately we miss, and we win against 5 deuce here. Okay, here I would have considered a check raise. Now this is actually a terrible card for me, because if he had ace king, ace queen, or any of those, then now he got there, and unfortunately I will have to fold. So yeah, not going well. When I hit something, I don't get paid. When I miss it, the others bet, or they get there, but not complaining, just saying this is what it is at the moment. There's still plenty of time to turn this one around. Maybe with 7-5 suited in the small blind. Do get called. This is something I don't really like it. I am going to just check. We're out of position. There's just not a lot we can do. And once he bets 2/3, I just have to fold. There is not a lot of wiggle room when you completely whiff the flop out of position against an aggressive opponent. that's a pretty tough gig. Okay, king queen. This time we're on the button, so I think now I would like to 3-bet this. 10-8 suited. I'm going to open in the cutoff. And unfortunately, we are getting cold 4-bet now by a tight player who's putting in almost half of his stack. So I'm definitely going to fold there, but that's again shows we are just running bad. Run bad can come in very different shapes and forms, and one of them is when you just try to bluff and someone else has something behind you. Okay, king 7 suited is quite a loose open. This is, I'm going to check here, definitely. And not super happy with this turn, but definitely going to call. And when he bets 2 there, I mean, that really is tiny, and the question is whether I should turn this into a bluff. But he could have a 10, and then I don't think he would fold unless I would go really, really, really big. But I will just call this one, and look, we have the same hand. I would have hoped that he had queen 7 there or so. But at least we didn't lose. Okay, 7 deuce suited. I'm going to just snap fold in the small blind. Won't even wait until my turn. Okay, this is an interesting one. Now with this hand, I don't want to 3-bet and then get blown off my equity by this short stack. So I am going to do something I normally don't do, which is cold call. And at least we have position. This guy bets small now. We are going to just call. And we do have a gut shot. If you bet small again, or if he checks, I am going to bet myself, and I'm going to bet to make it quite big, because there's a good chance that he just had an ace or so. And now, on this board, I am going to jam, because I don't really have anything, and the flush came in, but we get a snap call there with a 9. Okay, I did not expect to get a snap call by pocket 9s, but that shows again just bluffing these spots. So yeah, because he made small, I mean, this is kind of the type of hand that I expected him to have, apart from maybe some ace highs, and this is what I was hoping to get him to fold, but he didn't even think twice about it. So I will say calling station. Ace king. Do get call, and we are going to check this one again. This is not really a good board for our hand. And he now bets 2/3. He is actually more on the tighter side. I am still going to call once with ace king, even though it is quite a... Okay, we have the ace here, and I am just going to jam this one. Not the ace, we have the king of hearts. And I think with that pattern he does have a hand, but I don't think he has a flush the way he bet there. And I think by jamming here we do get him to fold everything that's not a flush. And here on the right table we win with our eights, and he had a6. Okay. This guy is quite tight, which is why I'm going to raise here on the left table. Normally this hand wouldn't qualify as an open in the small blind, but just because he's a quite a tight player, I opened it and we got this one through. So yeah, not afraid of making big bluffs, but the only time it worked was just now when we had to risk our entire stack. But I was quite confident that that one would go through, because even though he made it 10 into 13, which suggests that he has something, I just didn't think that he has flush there. And here, lose 3-bet against the 3x open from a tight player, but tight players are known for folding too much, so that's why I did it, and it worked. Okay, ace 10 suited in the big blind. Ace deuce off, we have to fold. Right, so I'm not loving this one. This guy has 21 big blinds, but I will call here. There's no need to jam. And on this board, definitely going to call once. Here I'm opening this really weird one, because these are very tight players. Here I am going to call with my ace high, and now let's see what he does. He did not check. We do have some showdown value. We have showdown value against quite a few hands, against King X, Queen X, but he might bet those, but I will still just check this one. Here I'm starting with a check on the left table, and when he jams now, I think this is one where I want to fold. Here on the left, I'm just going to overbet now with my gut shot, and here we are folding. And here, this one is one where we can just try to overbet again, but I'm going to make this one bigger, 45 big blinds, and we do get the fold. Okay, so our big bluffs starting to get through a bit more now. Here we have a limper on the button, excellent, definitely gonna get the non-crusher tag. Pocket kings, okay, this is quite a nice one, so definitely going to 3-bet them. Here, going to check my queen high, which is essentially the nuts if he doesn't have a pair. And he did have the king, and he even had the flush draw, so it's good that we did not waste anything there. So here, this is one where I will start with a check, and I will probably go with a check raise, but unfortunately he checks again, and I will give him another chance to bet. And now that he did not take any of these, I am going to overbet this one. And here on the left, definitely going to continue. Let's go with a call. And he now puts more money in there. I think now I have to fold. I think the call on the flop was right because it could go check check on the turn, then I can bet the river and take it down, or I could improve on the turn. So I think this was a good call there, but then once he bets the turn, I have to fold my 9 high without any backdoors. Here, what are we going to do? This guy's probably not going to stab much, but I'm still going to start with a check, just as I would out of position, and now I can go with an overbet. If he has some showdown value, then he will call, and now I am going to bet again on this river. He shouldn't have too many ace-x hands. I'm betting quite small. I can still get looked up by a 10 exactly, or let's see, what did he have? He had a 10 exactly. So that's actually very important to go for thin value on this river, because when I overbet the turn there and he calls, yes, he can have the flush draw with the ace, but that is quite unlikely, and the reason why is that a lot of players would just bet that on the flop rather than on the rate for the turn, and that is why I think this was an easy one to go for a bet on the river, because the nut flush draw is unlikely. And then what other aces? I mean, ace 10 might even have 3-bet pre-flop. And we got another nice one here. We got middle set. We are checking. Unfortunately, again, middle set, and we just get a snap fold. Yeah, so back to here. There shouldn't be a lot of ace-x hands that he has, so I'm never worried about that. And the question is whether he would pay us off, but I think we just have to try that. And here I'm going to call again with my ace. And I'm going to check again. He still has his entire pre-flop range there, and he triple barreled. I don't know much about this player, but does he have a better ace than me? I still think, even though he triple barrels, this is one of the few times I will call. And he does have 2-pair. Okay, here I'm folding. So I just thought because he made it so small, but the truth is a triple barrel is so rarely a bluff, and I kind of fell for it now. But also was a bit unlucky there, unfortunately. Okay, I have to fold. King 10 off against this tight player. I am just going to make a loose 3-bet. Think it can't be a mistake to over 3-bet in these nitty games. We do get called though, so now I am going to start with a check. Here I'm going to 3-bet my pocket 8s, and he bets half pot, and when he bets half pot, that is quite big. 0 out of 3 for c-betting before. I think I'll just have to let this one go. Had he made it smaller, I would have considered re-raising there, but the way he played it, I am going to, or I did just have to fold there. Let's open pocket 9s. Okay, sometimes you might wonder, I open to 2x, sometimes to 2.5x. I don't really have much of a pattern to that. It's not like I choose a hand that's better or so. Here, now we can definitely c-bet with our 9s. We can get him to fold a hand like ace 10. We can hope he would have folded a hand like ace 10. Now there is no reason to bet. And on this river, if he checks, I think I have to check behind. Because I don't think I can get much value from anything. I don't know why he's tanking so long. Okay, so if it was a check by default, well, I still think this has to be a check behind there. And he did have a 5, okay. Here with our jacks, when he makes it so small, I will call. I could 4-bet this one. He bets third pot, definitely not going anywhere with my jacks. Pocket 4s on the left table is a raise. He bets again, but he bets pretty small. Definitely have to call once again. And now we have a boat, and now he comes out with the overbet. So when he takes this line, I think it's most likely aces, kings, queens. And this is a rather passive player. I mean, not passive, but tight player. And I think I have to give him the benefit of the doubt when he bets so big, and I will just fold because he is quite a tight player, and I just don't think that he has it in him to have the triple barrel there. So I had to fold. Not good for the red line, but hey, what can we do? Here I am going to go for a c-bet now. With ace-king I wouldn't probably, like you saw before. And we're getting check raised, but this is definitely a spot where we can continue. I am actually going to min-click this one again. And he min-clicks again as well, which is quite annoying, but okay. I mean, now that we got to this point, and it's quite silly, and I have to do that, and I am going to continue showing strength. I have to check, and he did fold in the end, so he was just messing with me, which is what I thought. Okay, he now bets small here on the left, saying that he has the ace, and this one is quite tight one. I think, unfortunately, I will have to let it go. This is actually an interesting one that I want to see in the solver later, because I'm not entirely sure what the right course of action should be there, but it just felt like it wasn't really a bluff. And here 10-4 offsuit big blind versus a tiny small blind raise. I was just considering to 3-bet that for a second, but the hand is just so incredibly bad that I just folded it, even though he only made it 2x and he got away with it. And we now didn't get any action with ace king once again. Pocket 4s, let's open this hand from under the gun. This is a low frequency open, but I think in such a tight nitty game we can get away with it. And calling king 7 suited. Definitely starting with a check there. Here starting with a check as well. When top card pairs, I will check again. Here I don't have that much going. He makes it half pot. And is this one where we could go? I think I'll just have to fold. The ace is not great there, and he does bet now. And the thing is, how many bluffs does he have? I mean, he has everything that he called with there, but why didn't he turn anything into a bluff earlier? I'll just believe him, and I will have to fold once again. Okay, ace king again, and jack 10 suited. Jack 10 suited could play either way. Let's just do a 3-bet. We're getting 3-bet here as well by the small blind. Going to go for a 4-bet from under the gun. And we get jammed on now, and this is one where a lot of you would probably just snap call. And I mean, yes, it's not a jam, he has 4 big blinds behind, but it's technically a jam. And a lot of you would probably just call here, and I think this is a fold. I'm just tanking to explain, because I think that when he 5-bet jams there, yes, he can have a lot of ace-king and he can have some queens, but there is a lot of aces and kings there. And against that range, we're not looking that great, and we still have to call 80 there. So I'm just going to overfold. And even though a solver might not fold ace-king there, or at least not pure, I think it does actually fold a little bit to a 5-bet jam. So you could consider 4-bet jamming yourself with ace-king there, but this pool probably won't fold um, a hand like ace-king, so in this case, jamming there, you will probably only get called by equal or better. Now here, this guy might be monkey stabbing, I don't know, but I'm going to check raise because we have a gut shot and we have an over to the top card. When he min clicks it now, and he's quite a tight player, I mean, of course, he could just be messing around like I was earlier, but I think now it's actually quite easy to let go of my gut shot. Okay, let's play for 5 more minutes and then wrap it up. Queen, Jack, this is another one of those where I will call here. Actually, no, I will not call. I will still 3-bet and isolate the non-crusher. Here we're getting 3-bet by someone who hasn't 3-bet in 15 hands. Okay, fold. Right, so this guy now goes half pot there. I am going to call with my 2-pair. And he continues betting quite big, but we have 2-pair and we are definitely not going anywhere. Question is whether I should just jam here because I'm not going anywhere. Is this too thin? He could, of course, have king, queen, king, jack, but he could have ace, king. He could have aces that he slow played. I am just going to jam this one. Also, if he has a flush draw or if he has a hand like jack 10, which he might do if it donks there, then he might feel like he has to call. Which is why I jammed. Unfortunately, he folded. So maybe I could have just called and let him bet the river as well. But I don't know if he would really have done that. And I gave him the chance to make a mistake there by calling with a draw or a top pair or so. But he did not fall for it. Okay, king 7 suited, as I said earlier. I'm just going to open that one. It's quite marginal, but I'm going to open it and we get it through this time. Queen 10 off is one where I am going to go for a 3-bet. I mean, I know it's very light, but this guy has folded 3 out of 4 times and now 4 out of 5 times after he raised and got 3-bet. So these are the small exploitative things that I do sometimes. And when I do play and explains on 2 tables, I don't normally pick up on a lot of them, simply because I'm concentrated talking a lot. But sometimes I will pick up on them like now. And so I managed to do 3-bet there, but then in the next hand I had to fold. Pocket sevens, this is an easy call. Check, and here, this guy, I am going to find a 4-bet. Checking, the queen's not great, and now, when he checks all the time, I think I am gonna go for a small bet here on the river. Okay, so, and we did get called, that is excellent. Okay, here going to start with a small bet in the 4-bet pot. I have all the ace kings, ace queens. Now the thing is, once he raises me there, I mean, I don't know why he really does that, unless it's a bluff and it's a cheap way to actually, no, not even that bad to bluff there. We don't have much going here. We don't even have the king of spades, it's the 10 of spades. So unfortunately, this one did not go too well. And we have to fold once again. So on the left table, we're not doing great with our bluffs, are we? On the right, it's working out a bit better. We've got 2 buy-ins almost, but on the left, we have lost quite a bit. I don't even know overall. We are losing pretty much a buy-in, I think. Yeah, that's not great. This challenge has absolutely not been going very well. And I'm sorry about that, but I'm still hopeful that we can turn it around because I do think that we do have the skill edge. But yes, the rake is very high. That doesn't help, and I've not been running good at all. So here I'm just going to triple barrel. Like, yes, he could have a queen, but it's unlikely. And we get the fold on the turn. That is very good. Okay, here I'm going to raise Jack 8. Getting a fold, and now we're over the 200 big blinds. Okay, let's make this the last few hands. 10-5 suited. I am going to raise to 3 big blinds. Now pocket kings. On the right table, once again, no action with pocket kings. How could it be any different? Ace 9 off, going to fold. And this is it. So let's have a very quick look at, well, this is for today, and here we go. Yeah, unfortunately, really not gone very well. We lost a few, we had a few coolers, some of our big bluffs didn't go through. Still, overall, I think I played all right. I just got really unlucky this time. I had lots of good hands and didn't get paid once this happened. So thanks for watching, and hopefully next time it will be much better. Bye.